a president who married a supermodel, a leader whose name was whispered in the same breath as billionaires, dictators, and scandal. From the glitter of celebrity soirees to the shadows of secret deals, Nicolas Sarkozy embodied both the allure and the danger of power. This is the story of how France's bling-bling president rose to the Élysée Palace, lived like royalty, and fell into a web of affairs, corruption, and betrayal. Nicolas Sarkozy was born in Paris on January 28, 1955, the son of a Hungarian immigrant father and a French mother of Greek-Jewish descent. His background set him apart from the traditional French elite. He was not a product of the aristocracy, but of ambition. From his earliest days, Sarkozy cultivated a reputation as a relentless climber. He studied law at the Université Paris-Nanterre, dabbled in business, and threw himself into local politics. At 28, he became mayor of Nogent-sur-Seine, one of France's wealthiest suburbs. There, Sarkozy developed both his political connections and his appetite for power. Nogent wasn't just a training ground. It was a stage for Sarkozy's ambition and his flair for drama. In 1993, he famously helped negotiate during a kindergarten hostage crisis, personally walking into the classroom to talk down the armed men. The stunt cemented his reputation as bold, decisive, and willing to take risks for the spotlight. By the 1990s, Sarkozy was climbing steadily within the ranks of the conservative Gaullist movement. He became finance minister, then interior minister, and gained a reputation as a tough-talking law and order politician. His promises to crack down on crime, immigration, and social unrest resonated with many French voters. Even as his personal life increasingly became tabloid fodder, Sarkozy's political career was inseparable from his love life. He married his first wife, Marita Monique Culioli, in 1982, with whom he had 2 sons. But by the early 1990s, the marriage collapsed amid rumors of infidelity. Soon, Sarkozy, his second wife, Cecilia Séguéner Albéniz, a striking figure from France's social elite, was seen as the perfect partner for an ambitious politician. Together, they projected an image of sophistication and modernity. But behind the scenes, the relationship was turbulent. In 2005, Sarkozy's marriage with Cecilia hit the front pages when she was linked to another man, publicist Richard Atti. The scandal was humiliating for Sarkozy, who at the time was positioning himself as the conservative movement's future leader. Still, the couple attempted reconciliation. By 2007, when Sarkozy launched his presidential campaign, Cecilia was visibly absent on the trail. Within months of his election victory, their marriage ended in divorce, the first time in modern French history that a sitting president divorced while in office. But the story didn't end there. Just a few months later, Sarkozy stunned France by appearing in public with Carla Bruni, a glamorous Italian-French supermodel, singer, and former lover of rock legends. Their whirlwind romance culminated in a wedding at the Élysée Palace in February 2008. The spectacle was intoxicating. A president marrying a supermodel was straight out of a movie script. To supporters, Sarkozy looked like a modern, globalized leader, charismatic, stylish, and bold. To critics, he embodied the worst of celebrity culture invading politics, a man who treated the presidency like another red carpet event. And as the media fawned over Bruni, whispers persisted about Sarkozy's own alleged affairs. Stories of flings with journalists, businesswomen, and celebrities circulated widely, though rarely confirmed. In France, where private lives of politicians had traditionally been off-limits, Sarkozy's brazen lifestyle broke taboos and set tongues wagging. Sarkozy's marriage to Bruni wasn't just personal, it defined his public persona. He was dubbed the bling-bling president, a leader who flaunted his wealth and connections in a way that jarred with France's traditional republican modesty. He vacationed with billionaire friends on luxury yachts. He was photographed wearing designer sunglasses, Rolex watches, and jogging in expensive gear. His friendship with powerful tycoons like Bernard Arnault and Vincent Ballor deepened perceptions that Sarkozy was more oligarch than statesman. His critics argued that he wasn't governing France, he was ruling over a celebrity court, where power and glamour intertwined. This bling-bling image clashed with the economic struggles of ordinary French citizens, particularly after the 2008 financial crisis. As unemployment rose and austerity measures hit the working class, Sarkozy's lavish lifestyle became a political liability. While Sarkozy's love life captivated gossip magazines, it was his financial scandals that shook the foundations of his presidency. The most notorious was the Bettencourt affair. Liliane Bettencourt, de la Rileris, and one of the richest women in the world, was alleged to have provided illegal cash donations to Sarkozy's 2007 campaign. Testimonies claimed that Sarkozy and his allies pocketed envelopes stuffed with thousands of euros in unreported funds. Investigations revealed a murky web of financiers, secret accounts, and political favors. Although Sarkozy denied wrongdoing, the scandal underscored his cozy relationship with billionaires. Even more explosive were the Gaddafi allegations. In 2012, reports surfaced that Sarkozy's 2007 campaign had received up to 50 million in funding from Libyan dictator Muammar. Leaked documents, testimonies from Libyan officials, and money transfers suggested a clandestine pipeline of cash between Tripoli and Paris. If true, the implications were staggering. The French president may have risen to power with money from a regime known for brutality, terrorism, and corruption. Sarkozy dismissed the allegations as absurd, but French investigators pursued the case for years. In 2018, Sarkozy was formally charged with corruption and illegal campaign financing related to the Libyan funds. It was an unprecedented humiliation. A former French president placed under formal investigation for taking money from a dictator. Sarkozy's legal woes didn't end with Gaddafi. In 2021, he was convicted of corruption and influence peddling in a separate case involving attempts to bribe a judge. The court sentenced him to 3 years in prison, with 2 years suspended and 1 year to be served under house arrest with an electronic bracelet. It marked the first time in modern French history that a former president had received an actual prison sentence for corruption. For many, it was the ultimate symbol of Sarkozy's fall, from president of the republic to convicted felon. At the same time, he faced additional charges of illegal campaign financing, linked to his overspending during the 2012 election. French law strictly limits campaign expenditures, but Sarkozy's team was accused of hiding millions in expenses through false invoices. Though Sarkozy continued to protest his innocence, the parade of court appearances and indictments tarnished his legacy. What had once been whispered as rumor was now laid bare in the halls of justice. Sarkozy's scandals exposed deep contradictions in French society. On one hand, many citizens admired his energy, his toughness, and his refusal to bow to traditional elites. On the other, his flashy lifestyle, celebrity marriage, and corruption trials reinforced perceptions that politics had become a playground for the rich and powerful. The press, too, played a double role. French media once respected strict privacy around politicians' personal lives. The secret second family of President Mitterrand, for example, remained hidden for years, but Sarkozy broke that tradition by flaunting his private life publicly, dragging the press into his love affairs, divorces, and glamorous outings. What followed was a blurring of boundaries. Politics became tabloid, and tabloids became political. Sarkozy, the blind-gibbling president, was both creator and victim of this new dynamic. Throughout his presidency and after, Carla Bruni was both a shield and a lightning rod. Her glamorous presence softened Sarkozy's image in some circles, projecting sophistication and charm. But her supermodel past, her celebrity connections, and her openness about her own romantic history made her a constant subject of scrutiny. Together, the couple embodied an image never before seen at the Elysée: chic, modern, and globalized, but also shallow, decadent, and disconnected from ordinary citizens. By 2012, Sarkozy's star had dimmed. He lost re-election to François Hollande, a quieter, more traditional figure. For many voters, Sarkozy's style, the Rolex, the yacht, the supermodel wife, no longer felt like leadership, but like vanity. Today, Nicolas Sarkozy remains a controversial figure in France. Some still admire his dynamism and his ability to shake up French politics. Others see him as the embodiment of corruption, a man who blurred the lines between public duty and private indulgence. His marriage to Carla Bruni endures, though often framed by the scandals that defined his presidency. His legal battles continue, with appeals pending and new allegations surfacing. In the end, Sarkozy's legacy may be summed up in a paradox. He wanted to modernize France, to make it bold and global, yet he became ensnared in the oldest traps of politics: money, power, and desire. Nicolas Sarkozy's story is a case file in contradictions. The immigrant's son who became president de l'Ordre, crusader, convicted of breaking the law, the family man with a trail of affairs, the reformer undone by corruption. It is the story of how power seduces, and how even presidents can fall when the lines between love, money, and politics blur. France's bling-bling president wanted to shine brighter than all his predecessors. And in a way, he did. But like all bright flames, his burned fast, hot, and left behind a trail of smoke that still lingers over the French Republic.